What's good, friends? Ebony Chappel checking in here with something motivational for your podcast listening and viewing pleasure. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of What's Good with Ebony Chappel. So, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Today has been a really interesting day. So, I'll just start there by talking about what's good with me. And what's good with me is turning 34. So cheers to that. And it has been a really cool week so far. So I want to give a huge shout out to all of my friends and family that helped to make this birthday celebration really special. I feel loved. I'm filled with gratitude and excitement. So the 30s has just been a really interesting time. But before I jump all off into that, we have to do some housekeeping. So you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ebony the Writer. I'm also on TikTok under Ebony the Writer. You can check with me on my website, ebonychappel.com. If you are enjoying the show, be sure to like and subscribe, rate and review, leave comments, do all of that great stuff. And I actually want to give a shout out to someone that left a review on Apple Podcasts. So if I'm pronouncing the name right, Terracin, I don't know. But their name is spelled Taracen. And this is the review they left. They left 5 stars and said, needed. I just discovered this podcast and it's so refreshing to hear young, intelligent, funny content. Keep it coming, with the prayer hands emoji. So, T, however you pronounce your name, because I'm sure that I pronounced it wrong, I deeply appreciate your thoughts around the podcast and you sharing them. So, thank you so much for your support of the show. So, before I was talking about my birthday. So, that's been great. Virgo season has been fabulous. And it's one of the coolest things about the summer for me is getting into the season. And I have so many friends and loved ones that are Virgos too. So it's always a fun time being able to celebrate our birthdays all together at the same time. So shout out to y'all. Outside of that, what else has been good with me? Definitely growth in specific areas of my life. So a couple years ago, I was doing a lot of intentional thinking and prayer around the area of teamwork. So I really wanted to grow in that department in my life. And the reason why is because I knew that a lot of the things that I wanted to accomplish in some of the environments I wanted to be a part of require that I grow in that area and become more open about being collaborative with other people. And it's been a journey. I'm not gonna lie, it has definitely been a journey, but I appreciate it so much. And one perfect example of that is getting connected with my friend Ted Hardy, who is the guest on today's show. So when I first met Ted, we were actually in high school and we took jewelry class together. Fast forward a decade plus, and now we are working on this phenomenal project in the neighborhood that we grew up in, which is Hawville, located on the west side of Indianapolis. And when he reached out to me in 2020, it was around the same time that I was doing a lot of this prayer and intentional thinking around the area of teamwork. So he reached out and he said, yeah, I'm working on this project in Hawville. At that point in time, it was only supposed to be a pilot, just a 1-year pilot where we would test out what it would look like to do a park in that neighborhood. And I said, sure, I'll be involved. Fast forward, we're in 2022 now, and we have started a nonprofit around this project. We were allowed to extend it past a year, and so many other fabulous things have happened since then. But long story short, it was a perfect example of what it looks like to open yourself up in a certain area and then be willing to go along for the ride. So I'm so glad I made that decision. Um, you guys, I think you're going to love this conversation with Ted, get a lot out of it. We jump around a lot on different topics, but it is, it's always a good time talking with him. So without further ado, let's jump into this conversation with Ted Hardy uh, of No Days Off fame and Belmont Beach Project.
I'm it's in the house. I just they do whatever, but outside is when I get real nervous. They too
Yeah,
pro walkers, so I just always feel like they're gonna fall, but they got their balance. So in
that's
the house,
good.
I'm too relaxed. I probably am just the most relaxed dad ever in the house.
Yep.
So
Yep. But yeah, outside is hard because, like you said, they just could get into literally anything.
anything or falling, I'm like, I got little girls. They can have scars on their face.
Yeah, that is thoughtful of you. I was definitely one of them little girls that just kind of like did whatever. And I had older people in my life that would like pick on me and they'd be like, "Girl, you need to sit still. You're gonna do this or that." Like I would never forget. It was this lady when we lived on St. Clair. My friends Stacia and Ayana, they lived in the house next door. You probably know Stacia. She
Yeah.
owns Feel Better Naked. Yeah, her sister Ayana. So their grandma, she was so sweet. And I remember I was sitting on the porch and like my legs was all scratched up from like doing outdoor stuff. And she was like, "Baby, you need to get some cocoa butter for them legs because you a girl, you can't be out here like this." And
Yeah.
I always think about that because even now at Belmont, like I've scarred up my legs at Belmont like 3 or 4 times. And I'm just kind of like, I guess I'm just kind of used to it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm gonna have to get used to it too on their behalf. Like when I see them bleed, it's like, oh my god. If they bite their lip and I see blood or anything, I'm like, I'm losing my
Mm.
mind. I gotta break that point. Well, I probably never will break it. So
I don't think so. I don't think
yeah,
so, honestly. I think, especially for dads, like, I feel like dads that are so attentive, like, that kind of thing never really goes away.
facts.
Yeah. How would you say, well, before I jump into that, because I'm
Okay,
jumping ahead of my interview questions and everything.
that's all good.
So, normally, how I start off these conversations is I ask people what's good with them.
Hmm.
So that could be anything that is bringing joy to your life, bringing a smile to your face. What's good with Ted Hardy?
Well, what's good with Ted is a lot of things. The community work is coming back around.
Mm-hmm.
Married life and family and father life has been good. We got a lot to praise with Belmont Beach. Shout out to the team overall.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got some news earlier in the week about we got some bigger things coming to Belmont. So that's been what's good with me. Focusing on the family and the community work as usual.
Nice, nice. So, for people that don't know the full story, talk a little bit about how you found yourself in community work
Um,
and the type of things that you're into because you do a lot. Like you're president of Friends of Belmont Beach. Shameless plug. I'm executive director, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, you do like so many other things. So, like, how did that come about, and what all are you up to these days?
It came about actually now that I have been trying to piece all this together. It came about me
Mm-hmm.
getting injured playing basketball and just coming back home and going to Lynn Park and actually working out and realizing how dirty the park was and just me organically, if I'm gonna play here, we got to clean it up. To going from
Mm-hmm.
one neighborhood cleanup to people helping me, from barbecuing to realizing kids is having fun, and so it went from me trying to get back in shape to bringing joy to the community. To one day, this lady named Ebony Chappel I wrote a story telling people how much fun we was having on Sundays, and um, we here now. So yeah, that's kind of how we got started. Literally, I got injured, wanted to work out at the park, but it was too much glass and things that shouldn't have been at the park that I wanted to be around. So I decided to clean up and ask people to help me. And so I provided simple things like hot dogs, and it led to Black Joy, I would call it. And to
Mm-hmm.
doing something organic, but people needed to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lynn Park, for people that are listening that don't know, it is a Hawville park located on the west side of Indianapolis. And what, how do you feel reflecting on starting out at Land Park? Like you went out there with one intention, you wanted to, get your body back together, and then all these other things came add into your life. What do you feel when you reflect on all of that?
I had a point where I went through. It's like, what am I doing it for?
Mm,
That was the feeling. Like, what the hell am I here for? At one point, it was fun at first, and then when it became when it became an expectation, it was like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm not getting nothing out of it. Y'all are
mm-hmm,
getting way more than and that's just self thoughts that I had, and so
mm-hmm,
now I feel like even with, I would just say how Belmont Beach fell in our hands. It was like that blessing of this is why. It was preparing me for all of this. It was preparing for the mainstream to represent the community, talk about all the good things. And back then, if all this would have happened, I wouldn't have been ready. I wasn't ready to highlight the real positivity over anything ever that's going on. So
mm-hmm,
I think that was the biggest thing, finding the why. I still to this day, like, we done had conversations outside of work, like,
mm-hmm.
is this, why are we doing this? And it's it brings us back to why we're actually doing it. So um, yeah, that's been huge. But I don't want to go off topic with that. But
No, you're fine. You're
yeah,
fine. And your mic sounds a little muffled. Is something covering the mouth part?
maybe I'm trying to
That
talk
sounds way clearer right there, whatever you
that
just
in.
did.
All right, I just tilted it up a little bit.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think that that's so powerful to reflect on the why and to keep going back to it regularly, because this shit is exhausting, and I don't think people really understand that sometimes, like how much work it really goes into making something come to life.
And everybody's looking
Yeah.
forward to it being better every time.
Yes.
Like the bar is set so high each time you try to
Yeah.
do it. This, which is a good thing. It's like, why are we here? We just going on top of what you.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And knowing what your guiding light is so important, because like certain stuff will happen, and I want to ask you about this too, but sometimes things will happen that really can like throw you off and make you feel like, damn, like I don't know if I'm be able to make it.
Yeah.
So having that why definitely helps on those hard days. What will you say are some of like your biggest pros and cons of being involved in the community?
Too attached, knowing, and that's just overall over everything. That's family. That's people's problems. That's
Hmm.
um, things just go on because how when is it time to say yes and no? Because now I do have a family. For the first six and a
Yeah.
half years of this, it was just me. Ashley was just my girlfriend, fiance, whatever through the time. So it didn't mean as much. Time didn't mean as much now. So
Hmm.
sorry, that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a hard one,
I don't
because when
know.
you give a damn, you actually want to be like involved and engaged. And then sometimes people, like you were saying, knowing when to say yes or no and navigate other people's situations, because people become very reliant on you, especially
Yeah,
someone like you, because you have literally like helped people with their tangible needs, like their material needs in real life. So sometimes people do become reliant, like Ted, like, I need you to help me.
yeah,
Like,
like and people get, and then, like, I realize that people will get mad when you don't have the time, but it's like that's real. Like I was
hmm,
just really going out of my way to make sure you were straight. So
yeah,
how, and that's the only thing. I think that's, I guess, being a boss or managing or whatever is just accepting
hmm,
the role now and then managing that,
yeah, yeah,
the good with the bad.
yes. Which another thing. So you mentioned, so getting too attached is like a con. So what's a pro?
This is a flex for me, kind of, because
Okay, flex then.
the pro was almost like, I think I heard it like 4 or 5 years ago. The neighborhood was just up and down, left and right. It was like, and I was looking for people like in the neighborhood to be like, man, y'all can stop this stuff. Like, y'all got the money.
Hmm.
Man, one dude came to me and was like, we just need leadership. Forget the money, forget the guns, forget the power, forget the girls, forget. We just need somebody to come through and lead us in a way. I kind of heard that one day and kind of it just organically been happening. So for me, the con is like, or no, not the con. Oh, are we on the con? We're not on the con.
We on the
The
pros.
pro, sorry, the pro
Yeah.
of this is I know people got faith in me. Like I know community is behind me. I know that that's the pro. I got people that's actually like Ted said that let's stand behind it. Ted's there. It's like a stamp. Like from all this work being done, I got a stamp now. Like, all right, that's Ted and them over there. And I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
that's
It's a
my
good
pro.
feeling. Yeah, it is. It's definitely it's a good feeling, and it's good to watch because, and we've talked about this. There is always this perception, especially in our town, around what leadership looks like, and people thinking that it has to come in a certain package. Like you got to be like the suit and tie person, or you have to be the person that's like endorsed by some organization or corporation sort of deal, and then being able to come in your own way. And it's like I'm a person that recognizes my influence and my power and the power that exists in my community, and I'm just gonna rock with that. um and then let everything else come as it will. Like it does take a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you're making it look good.
Yeah, it's been cool. Basketball helped a lot. That just what's the word? Adversity. I didn't know what
Yeah.
the hell it meant till I was done playing basketball. I used to hear my coach be like, "We just go through adversity,"
mm,
and it just went in one year out the other. And now I stopped playing. He always talking about adversity and just making it through, and things is gonna happen, and how are y'all gonna bounce back? I'm like,
mm-hmm.
well, and then every day we deal with it, setting up for movie night, but we just sit back, relax, deal with the
That just
adversity that
triggered me.
comes with it. Look, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Adversity.
It's rough. Yeah, and fighting through it is important because speaking of the movie nights, so for those of y'all that are listening, we do movie nights every fourth Friday at Belmont Beach. So now through, well, I don't know when this is going to air, but the last one will be in September. But it's just so crazy because the first movie night we had all these technical issues and just like crazy, crazy, crazy. Then the next movie night, the technical issues wasn't really a problem. I was in a really like fucked up mood because Roe versus Wade had got overturned that day. Like we found out that day. So I
Mm.
was just like in this horrible like head space. Like I didn't even feel like attached to the planet. So it's like that, and then like just dealing with like everyday normal shit. Like it's super hot, and then people asking all these random questions, but overall like people still had a great time. But yeah, that adversity can come in so many different
In
ways.
so many
Like
different ways.
yeah, and you still got to show up.
Yeah. So learning how to deal with that and just understanding what that means helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What are the ways, like when you think about now you being a father and a husband, how do you think that that impacts you as a leader?
Time. Time is important, and as far as leadership, I want like people know that I'm here to get things done. I don't have,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's going to help with my leadership. I think more people are going to take me serious. I think is they know like if I want to get something done at a certain time, like that leeway is not there. I had a lot of, and I could take advantage of it too. I tell my friends, I got kids now. I really can't bullshit with y'all.
Listen,
Like I,
you
so,
better. I
yeah,
would.
yeah, y'all with us? Let's rock. Cause I only got 6 hours today, so and that's really where my leadership is going. Is going to get more intense, like because as
Mm-hmm.
my girls get, oh, they're gonna have practice and stuff. So I really don't got time to wait around and So I think it's
Yeah.
going. Some people probably ain't gonna like it, but for the better, I think it's going to be great. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
coolness with a little more tightness. And can't lose that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what? People will adapt because honestly, it's been, I think the stuff that we've experienced in the past couple of years by seeing the way that the world has changed has made people open up more around what real life looks like, because I think before the expectation was that even if you did have a family and kids and stuff, especially with you being a man, that you would just like neglect your responsibilities to pay attention to whatever business needs to be done. And now we're to the point where people are more serious about, I need to be at home with my family, I need to do this. I have other responsibilities. I have a life outside of, what y'all expect out of me.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a powerful example for a lot of people, even the ones that don't like it. It'll give them an opportunity to look at their own life and look at their own priorities and figure out, like, am I, paying attention to what's
But
important to
hey,
me?
you want to know one cool thing about the guys looking at their life?
What's that?
Since I got married, every conversation is about how, bro, man, me and my girl, I've been thinking about it,
Wow.
or you got them guys like, boy, it's man, 2 years, it's gonna be over for y'all. I can't wait because I feel like maybe this was a thing God put me here for, but just to prove people wrong in situations. Like it's not that hard, bro. Like you making it all this stuff. When I hear people talking to me that way, it'd be like me talking about my public speaking
Mm.
ability. Like if somebody tell me, "Shut up, nigga, you got it. It ain't that hard." All the time, like you know all this stuff. That's kind of how I talk to them now. So as I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to them after being married, I be looking at myself. I feel like you got it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just go do. You know what to do. You talking to me about it. Go just do it. Don't tell me. Put it
Yeah.
out there. Tell her. Tell your family. Tell your mom. Whatever the problem is. So um, I definitely been taking it and using this as leverage. I'm learning how to use leverage in the right way.
I
From
love
the
it.
neighborhood to the families are like, look, if this it's not that hard. Watch me. I'm at the club still. I still be at
Mm-hmm.
Belmont Beach. Don't miss a beat there.
Yeah.
Video. It's like you just gotta put out what you want to do. This is how you want your family to be. Make time for them. All the above.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I just think about how powerful that is for somebody like you to be leveraging your influence on your peers and your friends and whatnot, because that's just going to help improve our whole community. Because if, like, that whole, that old saying, like, each one reach one, each one teach one.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell, a boy to do the right thing and then he tells the rest of his friends to do the right thing, then next thing you know, my homegirl's got somebody to marry. So I'm
Literally.
like,
Hey, listen. It start. I
it's
got a
working
group.
out.
I got a group text of about 15 guys. That's all. Either if they not married, they own the verse. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in a group text with 15 and y'all talking real good about this, I know y'all other group text. So keep carrying the
Mm-hmm.
energy on over. I
That's
got I
powerful.
got one buddy that's an advocate. He like, bro, we're gonna do it. I'm talking to my mom. We're gonna have 3 weddings. I need y'all to be in it. Y'all gotta learn how to
Wow.
dance. So it's gonna be a. That's what's 2023. They already started planning it. So I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
shoot, let's go. Put pressure
That
on
is
everybody
lovely,
else.
man. Yes, I love that. Like, how do you feel when you think about, like, the ripple effect of something like that on, our community and on our people? What kind of things come to mind?
Fucked up. Well, not. I thought it was crazy because one day I was drunk and I told Ashley this. It was out of like it was out of everything. I was drinking. I was thinking about everything. I realized how
Mm-hmm.
much money I forked out, and I told her, "This motherfucking wedding is not for us." I was looking at her.
Mm.
I was looking at how everybody was stressed out, and I didn't have the invites out, and my phone was going crazy. And I'm like, "This is not for us." And then after we got married, we was on the honeymoon, and I was like, did you see what happened? You see all the people just joyful, and we just went through the motion. Like finally, we was
Mm-hmm.
more like finally it's over, and just watching everybody. Like I told you, it wasn't for us. This is bigger. Like us having fun, us being loose, letting me play my music. That's what it was about. We're gonna pass it on. So that was
Mm-hmm.
the main thing. Just realizing some things what you do is not for you. You know what I mean? And we do
Yeah.
it every day with the. I mean, the commitment was all of us, but
Mm-hmm.
the extra joy, the extra umph that we brought to it was like let's pass this on to the people. This ain't about to be no traditional wedding where we just about to come get married, be sad, and y'all about to go on about your business. Y'all gonna talk about this. Y'all gonna talk about the joy. Y'all gonna, and that's what we decided to after my drunk day of feel like I was expressing myself badly. I didn't want to hurt her or nothing, but I wanted to get off my chest to like, let's accept that. Like, we about to show these people how it's done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what y'all want, bet. Y'all want us to be looking good. Y'all want me to have fun. Here, y'all gonna have it. This is what it's supposed to look like. I don't want to hear no horror stories. I don't want to hear how bad the last wedding you went to. I don't want to hear who fell out. I don't want to hear no divorce shit. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Bring all good stuff in. We entered with the open bar and everybody got lit. Singing dance
Listen,
floors.
it was a great time. It was
Yeah,
a really great time. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why now that I'm older, I love weddings, because seeing people that I know, take that commitment and seeing how, like, committed they are to each other, and what that means. Because growing up, like, nobody was married in my family. My mom got married twice and got divorced twice, but marriage, and then she just got engaged recently.
Oh, congrats. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, but marriage was just not really a thing. Like, nobody else was married. My auntie Belinda um was married when we were kids, but it didn't really count. Like, it did,
Yeah,
but not really. And then she got remarried in her 50s. And for the longest time, they were the only couple in the family. And we didn't really have like a whole lot of men in the family that were like active and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I just think about what it means to see that, especially for like kids to see it and just see just healthy relationships in general.
I told her. I ain't gonna say I just told her, but 2020 when we got engaged, I was like, we breaking a cycle with this because
Yeah.
I mean, her parents is together, but my parents got divorced at my early age, so I really never got to see that. And then the parents
Mm.
that was married in our community, I ain't just gonna say in my family, but in the community, like it was real. It was real stressful. It was a lot of arguing. It was a lot of. It wasn't a lot of smiles unless it was partying involved. And I was like, I
Yeah.
can do all that. Like we can do all. We can smoke part, except for the dramaness of that. Like,
Mhm.
problems gonna come at all times, but my family, and that's one thing I can brag on. Me and Ashley probably never had problems over these last 8, 9 years, but like if we did have a disagreement, it wasn't my parents' problem or her parents' problem or her friend. We didn't run to the outside world for our problem.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's been the main thing for us. Is like it's about us. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. That is important because listen, people and their opinions, you could talk to two different people. I'm a expand it. Cause if you really get in the way, you're gonna talk to more than a couple people. If you like
yeah,
not in your right, like mature mind, you be like, every time it come up, you be like, I'm pissed off again. But you could talk to four different people and all four of them gonna give you a different answer on what it is you're supposed to do. And some of them be so wild. Like, you ever been so mad and you vent to somebody and they say some shit that like sober you up, you be like, hold on now. Like,
yeah. You done made me get on
what
your
are you
level. I wasn't
on?
supposed to be there. And then that be the fucked up part. You might talk to somebody going through something, and you spark theirs, and they spark yours, and y'all just passing bullshit back and forth, and that's how
Yep.
rumors start. And I was like, you mean somebody, and I stopped that early. You mean somebody in the club,
Mm-hmm.
right now? People going, let's stop all the rumors. You know me. You can ask
Yeah.
me. Let's not ask everybody else. It's up to me to tell you
Exactly.
the truth, and it's up to you to listen. Or I mean, tell you my side.
Yeah.
It ain't for her, or him, or your cousin, him. And
Mm-hmm.
we've been locked in ever since we had that agreement.
Yeah.
And
That's a beautiful thing.
I tell every man that, man, you ain't got to hog off from your girl. You ain't got to let them know how much money you got, but if you hide it all, it's a struggle.
Lord
No,
Jesus.
I say that too. I say that too. Let me back up. I say that too because we live in a society. If you don't got no money, you can't get no girl, and if you got some money, you got to
Yeah.
spend it all. So
As much as I hate to agree, depending on your situation, that is right.
yeah, if you broke, you broke. They're gonna make it clear I can't fuck with your broke ass,
Mm-hmm.
or you just my friend. I've seen women put people in that category, and then I see a guy with a lot of money be ugly, but as soon as he out of money, that's she gone and he ugly again. It's like so.
Mm,
Don't tell
mm,
them up
mm.
front that you balling or you broke. You just let them figure it out.
Yeah. I'm not going to fully disagree with you there. I think a little bit of my woman side is like, I don't know about that.
And that's from a man.
But I think it just comes from like understanding how difficult, I mean, the world is difficult for everybody, but definitely like for women, like your earning potential is like challenged for so many different ways. Like, you go into the workplace and a man and woman apply for a job, and the man is automatically gonna make more money just from him being a man. So it's like, as a woman, like, you have to get a little more um slick about how you operate with things. And that doesn't necessarily mean, well, it doesn't mean take advantage of people, because that's wrong. Like, period. Like,
I
that's not
mean,
right. And it always ends up in some bullshit. Like, that story never ends well.
no,
But choosing wisely, I think, is important. But that has more to do with like than how much money they got. Because people that got lots of money, they're complete assholes. It's like, so that's not gonna help you none. Like,
You're
and
right.
they could have something and be stingy. Then it's like it really didn't help you because you didn't get none of it. You
Yeah, so
know?
that I think that situation goes on the man too, or the female. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just try to leave with genuine, no matter if you got it or not. If it's
Yeah.
genuine and they accept it, you run with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Yep. And I definitely think it's good to think about that. And then on the men's side, I would say one of my biggest gripes, especially with like black men and black women relationships, is sometimes I feel like the men be too like stuck in their head about stuff. So then they always have a problem with things, especially if like the woman is a earner or somebody that achieves things or whatever. Like if they're too stuck in their head and they see it as like this is a threat as opposed to this is an asset. I'm like, no,
right.
it you could benefit from that too. But I don't know. That's just something that I've
See,
witnessed too.
it'd be hard for as a man. I feel a certain way just from being a man, like you're a woman. But then on the
Mhm.
flip side, I'm kind of with women getting money. My mother raised me on her own, so
Mhm.
what I mean. If she wasn't able to go out and grind the way she did, and I probably wouldn't be who I am. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if a woman look, I ain't gonna say look up, but if she worked hard enough and deserved that position, she deserved that position.
Mhm.
I got mama's boy tatted across my little thing. So I
So
mean,
you like I can't relate to none of this
yeah, it's
foolishness.
like shit. I watch my mama grind every day through all
Yep.
this to get me here. So if she wasn't able to make tips at her job because she was a female and they paid the men more, and she can only be a host. You know what I mean? I wouldn't.
Mhm.
I probably have been in the streets more or something. So
Yep. Yep.
it comes with it.
Yeah.
That's a sticky conversation. I think it's just a selfish side. That's like a white and black thing.
Mm.
It's just a different whatever that word is for it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of that's one I kind of stay out of because I don't want to be in the room looking less of a man, but I feel the woman because of my mother's situation.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's good because like having like that balanced perspective because that's something that could help a lot of other people too is by understanding like, okay, you don't have to trip on that. Like
Yeah, nigga,
here's a
be her
way that you
friend.
could be okay with that.
She might look out for you. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
you know what I
And
mean?
a lot
Like
of times that's the case.
she might be the one looking out for you, homie. So you don't know. Like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So get
sure.
y'all
For
money,
sure.
please. Please get y'all money.
Oh yeah, it's imperative in this day and age because shit is crazy. So I'm like, you gotta get it while you can.
And all y'all women have y'all money saved up, and if it really get tough, man, guys gonna have something to fall back on.
For
So
sure, for sure. Yeah. So off of the relationship stuff, that's so crazy we got on that topic because I did not anticipate that. But it just happens
it comes
sometimes.
with it.
Yeah, it comes with it.
That's what's good with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Teaching these people the right way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but how do you find balance in all that you do? Like having to deal with like the family, husband stuff, community, the club, the everything. Like how is that working for you?
Man, I was about to throw my Xbox away, and I figured out that's what it was. I
The
was
Xbox?
Man, I play Fortnite and 2K. That's my way out.
Okay.
I go online, I put my headphones on, and I talk crazy to these people across the world about how good I am. Instead of me having to run to drugs and liquor and be mad or call my friends and gossip all day about how tough my day was, I just go online and I'm good at games and I just beat people and then I
Mhm.
go right back to the regular world. So that's like my outlet. I wouldn't even say family or acts. I mean, obviously that makes me happy, but
Mhm.
that's my getaway. I get on there, put my headphones on. I got me a nice gamer chair,
Nice.
and I literally just figured it out probably at the beginning of the year. I'm like, I got to refocus. I can't be playing this game. I ain't gonna play the game, and I realize I'm always frustrated. I'm mad. I'm ticked at the kid. You know,
Yeah.
now I can just go on the game, get my little virtual world, beat on people in the
Mhm.
virtual world, and get back to regular. Like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm straight. So that's my.
Mhm. Yeah. We do have to have an outlet and there are like absolutely way worse things. Like you mentioned, like it could be some other stuff going
Yeah,
on.
it can be other
So
things.
I'm like, having that outlet is so important. And I think we have to like free ourselves from that thought process of like every single day, every single moment of the day has to be filled up with something, because it easily could be. Like you could
Mhm.
wake up at, literally 2 o'clock in the morning and go forever, and you would still have shit to do. Like it would still be something on a list.
Still
So
something.
you got to take a break. Like I definitely have my TV shows that I look forward to every week. Um, I like, I do like reading. I don't do it as much as I would like to, but it's an outlet when I can make time for it. And listening to podcasts. I listen to so many podcasts. It's crazy. So that's definitely an outlet, like turning on one of them. And then I
Yeah.
just like go and like do some mundane task that doesn't require any brain activity and do that while I'm listening to the podcast. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool now. I'm
Yeah.
straight.
Well, I don't know if you see my scooter. That's my other one. I was thinking about what else
Oh,
I do
yeah.
outside of the house, and that it's like an adrenaline rush right there. From getting from here to out there, just be so. I take different scenic routes. Sometimes I just take my camera. I got so much
Wow.
unreleased footage of just trees, and I done found little other parts of White River coming off Bluff Road, little
Mm-hmm.
fishing spots. I'm like, that's this get me out. That little extra
Yeah.
45 minutes I take traveling every day be so
Mm-hmm.
good it is.
Yeah, and I bet it's so worth it though to have that time to like commune with nature, because that's another thing. You could easily be stuck inside a building or a house all day because just doing stuff, and it's like before you know it, you've missed sunlight, like you've missed the opportunity to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, I can't believe I didn't put this down as a talking point, but your video and photography, it's just so like it's not crazy to me, but it is really cool to me that it has like emerged as like a major thing. Like when did you I'm just trying to figure out like when did that come into play? Like what made you decide to pick up a camera? I'm sure it was like like you just had to because somebody didn't show up.
It forced me to work harder because I wouldn't open
Yeah.
my mouth to. It turned into a
Mm.
blessing. Like I wouldn't. I was paying people to create my vision, but they was.
Yeah.
It's like I do parties the same time every week. If I
Mhm.
got one on Tuesday, I got one next Tuesday. That's
Yeah.
7 day. So I was getting content 14 days later. So it's like, what the hell am I promoting?
Oh
I can't
no.
promote these people. I'm trying to show y'all faces to keep my crowd relevant. And that was what I was battling with myself, but I wasn't vocal enough to know how to approach the videographers and stuff. And I was just like, I'm gonna just do it myself. So instead of paying them one day, I bought a camera. It was trash. I posted one video on YouTube. I hope nobody ever finds.
Mm.
Um, Camera all shaky, and I just went from there. And then, like I said, at first it was just to me proving a point that I can do it. Like
Mhm.
I could do this. I could do this. I
That's
could
that
do this.
athlete side.
Yeah. I could do this. To other people, like you showed me how to do this. To I can do this. Let me take some time to let me get a real software. So I really didn't plan on doing it. It was really to prove a point because I was paying people, and I was like, "This is how I should look." I like this is actually what I like. I don't want to be in the camera. I just want to show y'all what people are doing. That's why I'm here.
Mhm.
I create the vibe now. I can show y'all. So shout out to all the videographers that couldn't see my vision and let me create my own. And that's all that's happening with it. This is what I see. This is what I see out of my eyes right here. And I just
Yeah.
put it out on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. Shout out to them
Yeah.
because we discovered some really, really great things um as a result of them being trash. So
Yeah, that's the word right there. I ain't want to
yeah.
tell it, but yeah.
I mean, it is what it is because I'm like, you came to a club and you send in the video 14 days later. Like, I don't understand on what planet
Yeah, it'd be
that makes
hey.
any sense.
And I was paying up front. Everybody see the money, so you want. So
Oh
I'm
no.
I'm gonna just take this money and buy my own equipment. Y'all playing now?
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
happened that way.
One of the best investments you could have ever made.
Yep.
You did a video recently at your well, you do them all the time. Like there's always content coming out. I realized you had a whole nother Instagram page that was
Yeah.
content by Ted Hardy. I was like, I need to follow this one too.
Yeah.
But your family's annual hog roast came back this year in the neighborhood, and you took like such a beautiful video of that. Do you ever think about like future generations and your kids being able to go back and look at that stuff.
Yeah, and it's been upset me now that I ain't got more of the girls because I was like I don't never, and this is something that I gained growing up. I never wanted to be like back in my day. You know what I mean? I don't
Mm,
want to. I don't want to go back to Lynn Park and got to argue with this kid about. I mean, I was the one that got this. The court wouldn't be this. Before. I
no.
don't want to be that. Like, and I promised myself I'm not gonna be like, man. Back in 2022, we had two hogs. We stayed out there all night, and we got. I'm like, I'm gonna show them. We got the
Mm-hmm.
internet. The best thing, and that what the guy said. Never. If they don't see it, it never happened, or
Mm,
whatever. Like, and that's kind of the mentality. And I was like, yeah, now my kids can be able to see they daddy really was growing because by the time they get
yeah.
older, hopefully I ain't got to do too much and do all this running around. So
That's
they
the
ain't gonna know.
plan.
Yeah, they ain't gonna know. So look on YouTube. I ain't about to argue with y'all. Y'all ain't doing that. Check me out on YouTube. And I push my
Mm-hmm.
and my
Yeah.
grandfather. I'm glad we started because now I got a couple videos of my grandparents on YouTube from the holidays and just getting coverage of them and the family having a good time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't planned though. It wasn't planned eventually, but I'm following the plan now.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And I do think that it's so cool to be able to go back on stuff like that. Did they record y'all when you was growing up? Was that a big thing, like pictures and home video and stuff?
Yeah, Emerson, Candace, and Dinah dad. He always
Oh yes, Mr.
remember he
Emerson.
always
Yep.
kept a camcorder
Mm-hmm.
everywhere he went. So um, I kind of he inspired me a little bit to pick the camera up at family events.
Yeah.
So went from there. I was already doing them. I think maybe I don't know if he had told me to bring. I don't know. I know he was the one. Like if we go back in time now, we if we had a house one day and just somebody got a VCR, he probably gonna bring out some old clips from
Mm-hmm.
1999 and 98 on the disc. I mean not a disc, but whatever those VHS.
Yep, the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Yep. That is so cool. That's so cool. I love what you said when you were saying that the video part wasn't planned.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts about like unexpected plans or like having a strict plan?
I think I think the way that I maneuver, having once I continue, if I continue to stick to it, ask me that question again because it
Yeah,
made yeah
made you think about a few things. So
yeah
like would you say that you're a person that more embraces like a really strict guideline on it had to be like this and this, or are you somebody that more so embraces like going with the flow?
yeah. I'm more you just throw me in the fire. Cause sometimes when I do got to go point by point,
Hmm.
I get like, what if I'm not there? And then if I just can go
Yeah.
with the flow, it's like, oh, we're gonna make it happen. I think that's the
Hmm.
adversity that came with what I've been learning in adversity. Like that's how
Yeah,
most great things happen.
for
By the time
sure.
by the time you get it structured out, that means you done it a couple times, it's ready to go and play. Boom.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's you got the motion down when it's in structure. So I feel like my situations I have been throwing out more of the unstructured, pull it
Hmm.
together. Obviously, I make my funds by hopping around from club to club to bringing their structure together. I come in
Hmm.
with something that's look like it's good on the outside. They bring people like me in to fix it, fix whatever, get people in and go from there. So yeah, more
Hmm.
throw me in the fire and I'm gonna come out.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
a structured team.
Yeah, for sure. I think this process that we've been working on with Belmont has forced me to loosen up when it comes to that, cuz being like a pretty structured person but then being thrown into a situation where it's like there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot that is not like direct, it's more so like here's a loose set of things and you can kind of guide them one way or the other, but you just really don't know.
Yeah, but I think those two play together. Like
Yeah.
say for our position, if I was as strict as you on my time and on things, just think how much
Mhm.
we'll bump heads
Yeah, and we
at
probably
that
wouldn't
level.
have any fun whatsoever,
Yeah, because
honestly.
it's like I got something to do right at 6, and what if you got? You know what I mean? We probably would be talking that way. Like
Yeah.
Instead, it's like you gotta think it's from us winning a couple of wars that worked. Like my
Mm-hmm.
structure, your structure came together, and
Yeah.
so I think they meet. Somebody got to be structured, and somebody got to be able
For
to go.
sure.
Like it just
Yeah.
it won't work if we both was running around with our head cut off. We will still be stuck in positions that we don't want to
Yeah.
be. So
For sure. Yeah.
yeah, so don't take that as that's a positive to me in a way. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you can flex both of them, then
Yep. Why
shit,
not do it? Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's funny because you're a Pisces, right?
yeah.
Technically, are you into astrology at all?
I've been as I'm getting older, I've been catching myself on Google reading about it a lot.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, so
Oh shit. Okay.
I went through something one day a couple of years ago, and I just caught myself with the numbers and started there, and I just
So
been
looking at
searching.
up the so you saw like some sequence of numbers that were like
Yeah,
repeating.
and I just been about 5 years ago. I catch myself on Google at least once a week, figuring out signs of my birthday or some numbers.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing, first of all. That's really cool. And I think it's funny how like the whole thing about us matching up because traditionally Pisces and Virgo are like well on the scale are complete opposite on the zodiac spectrum. So it's supposed to be very challenging and it has been for me most of my life because I'm thinking of like three distinct situations where it's a Pisces and it's like there's a lot of clash. What I've learned though is like if both people can like respect each other and where they coming from and there's like a genuine like foundation there, then the rest can be worked out. But it's like not having that
yeah.
that causes the problems. But I think that's so cool that you look that stuff up and you're into that.
It just if something
Yeah.
bad happens or something, that's the first thing I just whatever it is. I don't know.
Hmm.
I didn't realize all the information was out there just to read on. I thought like when people say, "What's your zodiac sign?" It was just something that certain people like that was just smart because girls would ask a lot.
Oh my God, don't get me started.
And be out there, but so I was thinking that was like a special gift, like only you know
Hmm.
only cool people know zodiac signs. Or she's crazy, or she's psycho, or she.
Yeah.
I didn't know motherfucker can go right on Google. Like, let me look up what they like.
That's literally what a lot of people be on. Now there are some people that are able to like tap into a different information, like their
Yeah,
mediums or whatever, so they might be
yeah.
able to figure stuff out. But especially nowadays, like a lot of people, they're just looking it up, and the whole thing about girls asking you is funny because there's this meme floating around where dudes is like, dude, if she asks you what time you was born, don't tell her because you can like pull somebody's chart if you know like the time they were born and what location, like the city. You can pull their chart and people be knowing everything and they're like, oh, I know exactly how to get you. And
For
that's just
real.
that's wild as hell to me.
And that's where I first started. That's why I just thought it was women's secret powers because that's what you know. And I grew up as you see in the family of a lot of
Yeah.
women. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like I thought that was their thing. They talk
Yep.
about you hear them talk about they gonna be like well, they superheroes over there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just cool. I'll
Yeah,
be
that
looking.
is cool. Yep, yep. Something else, like since we're on the topic of that kind of thing, I never asked you about this before, but like what is your relationship with spirituality? Like would you consider yourself a spiritual person, like super religious? Like where are you at with that?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what the world has done to me. I've experienced every religion.
Wow.
I've, if I haven't, if I haven't, it's coming my way. I've got to experience all of even just you gotta think it's a lot of churches in Hall, but I'm gonna just go back. You still there? Uh oh.
Okay, I'm still here. I don't know what
Okay.
happened. It like started fading
Look,
out. Okay, I'm
look,
back.
if it mess up again, nobody you ain't supposed to know. But
No.
it's a lot of churches in Hallville,
Yeah.
and a lot of those churches at the time to get us in there, um, they had gyms and activities, so we had to go through some of their activities inside of the churches. And each church is ran different in
Mm.
Hallville. And
Yep.
outside, you know, and outside of that, just playing basketball, that just showed me a lot of different religions at an early age I never paid attention to. And then
Mhm.
when I got to Lee University, you know, that's a Christian college. That was the Church
Mhm.
of
And
God.
where's that at?
That's in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And so
I know
from
they was real
there,
churchy.
yeah, and that's kind of what drew me away from Christianity as a whole because
Mm.
I ain't gonna say it drew me away. It opened my eyes up to be willing to see with every other um, belief or whatever. I just wanted to experience
Mhm.
it because when I went, I was so highly on Christianity and whatever came with it, and then I seen the pastor's kid have the latest parties on campus, and
Wow.
police was called on them, and all the things that they said hoodlums and shit did, right? And they everything them kids and stuff was doing everything that they said people from our neighborhoods was doing.
Mm.
And so I'm experiencing y'all preaching every day. I gotta go to chapel Tuesday and Thursday. Y'all screaming and yelling God and shit. And y'all looking down upon us in the neighborhood, and I gotta witness this shit every day. I'm forced. And so
Mm.
as I grew, I was just like, I want to start sitting there. I remember my first time going to church with Brother Melvin. Like this was years back, or I don't know what they call it church, but everything is I just use the word church.
Was it was it with
Uh,
Nuri? Was it
yeah,
at a mosque?
yeah, we went there. I've been
Mhm.
to Dills a couple of times. I even been to Jewish churches. I've been to all of them. I've been to my
Wow.
meetings, saying stuff I didn't know what the hell I was saying, just trying to fit in. I felt like I wish I was recording back then though, just the experience. Like I really just like
Yeah.
because at the end of it, what I was going with this is we all see the same things. Like at the end of what we all saying, it's just coming
Mhm.
out different and it's different names and shit. But we
Yeah.
all chasing the same thing. It's somebody above us, and we trying to please them, and we don't want to let them down. And please watch over us, and you know what I mean. And it
Mhm.
just comes out differently. So that's what I seen out of it all. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to experience more shit.
Mhm. I hope that you do experience more, and now, that you're into like documenting stuff, that you share those stories. I think it's a beautiful thing, especially for Black people to be able to express themselves in other ways when it comes to spirituality, because a lot that we learned or was taught was like forced on us, and it wasn't necessarily in an organic way. And I just think it makes you more compassionate and more open-minded to the world around you when you do have a broader worldview. Because a lot of times, and I was raised Christian, like I still consider myself a Christian, but
Yeah,
I've been to the mosque before, like I've studied Buddhism and different things like that. And it's really frustrating when people claim to represent Christ, but the way that they act and the way they treat other people is like so unchrist-like. It's like that doesn't have anything to do with the true message,
yeah,
and it's really, really frustrating. So that's why I think it's good to expand and explore and really make sure that whatever it is you believe, like it makes sense for you.
yeah. And you know,
Yeah.
we all chasing our own message too. I tell some people that don't go for what I'm going for.
Yes.
I tell my mama that too. Like, don't find the church that I'm looking for. I go
Mhm.
to all of them. You know what I mean? I'm looking for a message that I'm only looking for.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna go for, and that's how I would tell anybody about. Don't let me decide your spirituality, or just I'll tell you
Mhm.
my experiences and who is. I know some pastors that if I hear one pastor of mine, I won't say his name, and he probably wouldn't care, but I know one pastor. If I hear him cuss, I'm going to think the holiest thing ever out of his cussing because that's
Mm.
how I always approached it. Like, this is me, this is how I
Yeah.
was raised. I'm just giving y'all the message. And then if I hear other pastors that carry themselves in a certain way cuss, I think you're the devil. So I
Mm.
think it's just all about who putting the message out and what you're going to receive, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And staying true to it, I think is so important as well, for sure. This has been such a great conversation. We got to do stuff later. Like I need to take a nap, and I know
Yeah,
you have things to do. Since people were making me go outside today.
yeah.
But what What are you excited about? What kind of things are you looking forward to?
Man, I'm excited about whatever the future holds. I know what it holds. I know some things is in our hands, and I'm proud to say that. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what we can do as far as Friends in Belmont Beach as a group, as a whole, as ourselves individuals. I'm glad that everything around me is being family oriented, what people don't see. I'm glad you're starting to experience a lot of that too. So I think
Mm-hmm.
all that's going to carry into the great things that's coming our way. I want all of our people to know to keep wishing the best for us, so we can keep gaining the best and passing it back to our people, man. And that's really it with Ted Hardy.
Yeah. Wow. What a good way to wrap up. I appreciate you so much. Where can people keep up with all things Ted Hardy?
Um, I'm gonna get my website updated for more all things Ted Hardy. Right now, it's all about the club, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
TEDDHARDY. Or all my social medias is all the same. If you just type Google Ted Hardy or whatever, it's gonna pop up. Facebook, TikTok, I might be on there more.
Oh
Snapchat.
my lord. My sisters made me download a TikTok the other day, so
I
now
didn't
I'm
want to
on
get too
there.
lost, man. I didn't want to get. I can't help it now. That I did. People like are giving me compliments on my videos and stuff, so now I got to
Mm-hmm.
and create more. So that's the fun part.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's gonna blow up on there,
Yes,
because they need some good content. But as always, I appreciate you. It's a good conversation, and I'll just holler at you later.
please.
Again, thank you, Ted, for such a fabulous conversation. Definitely appreciate you, brother, and I am so glad that we are on this Belmont Beach journey together. Thank you to each and every one of you for tuning into the show. Be sure to connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ebony the Writer. You can also check me out on my website, ebonychappel.com. As always, have a great time and a positive life. Peace.